Broadcasting live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. You're listening to Bronco Planet, brought to you by the Denver Broncos Booster Club, home of the greatest fans in the NFL.
Hey there, Bronco fans. It's Shad and Danny. It is Bronco Planet. It's week number 3. The big tilt, the big circle on the calendar. Shad, frustrating as hell game. An overtime loss to Seattle, 20-26. Definitely, once again, a tale of two halves. And let's just focus on the first 2 quarters, Shad, and what the Broncos did, or for lack of a better term, what they didn't do.
Well, Dana, here's a good way to sum it up. By the third quarter, the Colorado Rockies had produced more runs in their game than the Broncos had scored points on offense and adding defense. I think the Rockies had 8, Broncos with 5. An absolutely no-show. I thought it was an ultra-conservative game plan to come in with Virgil Green. Are you going to pound the rock? I don't even know how many wasted throws within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, just draws left and right. They're just the same plays. There's 5-yard passes. Nothing challenging deep, nothing in the corner of the end zone. So vanilla, I can't even comprehend what we're thinking about. This team is just not aggressive. We've complained about it for 3 weeks. We've gone now, what was it, to 2 quarters from the previous game, first 2 quarters of this. 5 quarters, yeah. It just 5 quarters, 6 points, pathetic. I mean, we're just simply, Danny, we're simply getting out coached.
I think so too. I think, we had talked about, is this a personnel issue? Is this a coaching issue? I guess, the one thing that the Denver coaching staff doesn't have is short-term memory loss, because if I remember right, Chad, you can correct me on this, in the Super Bowl, they shut down the screen and they shut down any kind of a running attack that involved a draw play. I can't tell you how many wasted plays, wasted time, wasted 3 and outs today. If you're not going to learn a lesson, then when are you going to learn your lesson? It's just it was very, very frustrating. It was kind of interesting to see, when they did go up. Okay, now we get to see the Broncos playing from behind, and there for a while they came out and it was a Peyton Manning that wasn't on his stuff. It was Demaryius Thomas for 3.5 quarters. I don't know where his head was. He looked like he was just in la-la land. Thank God for Emmanuel Sanders just to keep it close. And even though the defense went into full prevent in overtime, you got to give a thumbs up to the way that they played today. Last week we talked about the millions of dollars that this team spent to bring in a guy like DeMarcus Ware, Ward, and Talib. All 3 of those guys today, big plays. Well,
Talib had some big plays and then some big boner plays too. Right. I mean, he absolutely stays with this guy and then allows him to catch a touchdown. A lot of short passes underneath him. Yeah, he makes a tip and gets the interception. But Talib, not good enough. Frankly, for what you're getting paid, you're a star cornerback. Well, not enough.
All right, so we just said that this is a coaching issue. Do you think Talib's, No.
I'm just, your big players have to make big plays. Okay. Peyton Manning choked a little bit in this game. Right. All right, he's allowing them to come up with this conservative bullcrap plan. All right, you're the big honcho here. And then when it was the second to last drive, Demaryius wide open, Peyton overthrows him, and then Peyton continued to struggle that whole game. Peyton did not have a great game. Sure, he ends up at 300 yards. He had a great drive at the end. Kudos to you, Peyton Manning. But you got to do better. Right. DeMarcus Ware came through when you needed him to come through. Ward had some good plays today. We haven't seen that from here. Right. Talib, mediocre at best. In the coaching, how is John Fox part of this organization?
What's great about you is when you start getting fired up.
I'm so pissed. I go to Carolina all the time. I'm in Charlotte. The people there hate John Fox. He's so conservative. Mm-hmm. It's his mental game plan. And Adam Case, if you're the one calling these plays, F-. Terrible. You've been out-coached. We've been into a Super Bowl and you were out-coached again today. It's despicable. I don't even like looking at it. Bull crap is what you're putting on the field. Bull crap.
Speaking of bull crap, Chad, a couple bull crap calls today that we saw from the officiating crew. Certainly not pinning a loss on that.
Yeah,
but it was
all on Denver, the loss. But yes.
No, it had nothing to do with the loss. But it was just, for an outfit, the NFL that was putting so much focus on the hands grabbing,
At least 2 misses there.
Yeah, and of course the in the neutral zone, actually in the backfield with an overturn. No, I didn't see anything. Well, I did. Well, you're wrong. Well, okay, let's pick up the flags. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, rewind back to that play though. We got that.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter because we called the draw play yet again and would have been stopped. Did I tell you John Fox is a moron yet?
No, well, I think you did, and I think you made it quite clear. and especially the game calling. It was just once
terrible.
Again, yeah. And the one thing about this is everybody out there wanting revenge for the Super Bowl loss. You know what gets revenge? Going out and winning a Super Bowl. Granted, this was the third game of the year. Yes, it was against Seattle. Yes, we've had this circled on our calendars, but the bottom line, it's a non-divisional opponent. Denver did come back whilst playing crappy, whilst being coached every bit as the same. So, it is always hard to search for those little nuggets of positiveness. Yeah. I think the best thing going right now for Denver is the defense, and quite frankly, I said this to you several times in the game. Oh, look, it's 3-0. Thank God the Broncos defense are going back on the field.
Absolutely,
it can't, and you don't ever want to be in a position of actually having to say that. So I think that once again the rewind. The Broncos have a bye week coming. Danny Trevathan.
Can we get rid of our coach during the bye week? We have time to replace him, but who would you put in there? Adam? I don't think so.
Right?
Did I tell you I don't like Fox?
I think
has that come across yet on this show?
So we got a bye week coming up, which is always the weird week for everybody because generally by Thursday, Friday, you're starting to lick your chops. You're looking, you're breaking down what we're going to be doing against our next opponent. I hate the bye weeks for the Broncos. Granted, it's early. It is playing into the hands of a guy like Danny Trevathan. I'm glad they didn't play him in this game or bring him back too early because simply we need this guy for the long haul. Nate Irving had flashes of good play today, but he also had flashes of trailing the ball carrier by 5-10 yards.
You can't have linebackers covering Percy Harvin. This is not a news flash for anybody that my 10-year-old at home knows enough. He knows even on Madden you don't do that situation. It's, hey, let me give for 1 second I will be positive. Okay. All right, way to go, Sanders. You're stepping up. Had a great game. Wes Welker, nice bounce back. Although, once again, let's talk about Welker's play. All right, my positive's over already. Right. They stop. We stop. All of a sudden, they take Tammy out. They send Wes Welker in, and then they stop him, and then Peyton yells something at him, and then he throws it at him and gets intercepted and doesn't look at anybody else. That was real tricky, folks. Right. It's just, Sanders stepped up. The defense, for the most part, except when they went to their conservative ways in overtime, played outstanding. Von Miller, I think, is playing better than I thought he would at this point. Coming back from an injury, happy with him. Ware's doing his part. Defensive tackle suspect at this point, and I don't know. I'm done. Fox, I'm out. Fox,
right.
Screw you.
All right. And with that said, it's going to be a couple weeks before we talk to you folks again, and we're going to call it here. That was Shat. I'm Danny. You're watching Bronco Planet, and I'll go get him off the ledge.